Mics on, innit? The mics are now on, boys. Yo, Wagwan, you good, yeah? You're listening to the sounds of Paraic, Fearon, aka PTBM, and this is no longer called the 090 Show. It's still the same idea. We'll come up with a name again on FLIRT FM 101.3. And today, with me in the studio, I have Kimball and a special guest, Mr. Connor McMurrow. Big bad boy DJ in the bit, so you know about that.
AKA DJ Green Beats.
AKA.
No, it's just DJ Green. Green Beats is kind of the name of the label or whatever you want to call it. But
Well, you know, also known as.
yeah.
Yeah, man. So, you come down today for a little interview. That's the plan so far. I mean, we're on a tight time budget, but I suppose my first question would be, where are you from?
I'm from Barna, Galway. I've lived there for about 20 years or so. I'm living in Limerick at the moment for college, but yeah, I'm basically from
Okay, what are you studying?
I'm studying music technology in LIT. I'm in second year there. I did 2 years of sound production in GTI in Galway.
Oh, you're putting your time into your craft?
Yeah, pretty much. It was never my plan to kind of get into music production. It was just, I had nothing else to do. I was finishing school, didn't like it, and wanted to kind of find something to do. And it was kind of one random night, I'd say summer 2012, which would have been maybe a year before my leaving cert. One of the lads just gotten into making up mashups on hip-hop or hip-hop tunes on YouTube, like getting Tupac acapellas and putting them over like Dr. Dre beats or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just started doing that. I was pretty natural at it, and then roughly a year later I was like, I'm not doing anything else with myself, so I may as well just test out the sound production course in GTI. Ended up really liking it, getting on really well, and then kind of deciding that I at least wanted to have kind of a side job as making beats. And it's only recently, I've been doing it for almost 6 years now, and I started selling beats. Like, you know, it took a lot of work to get that far. I honestly thought, you know, if I was going to sell beats, it'd be a good few more years, and I'd be at a real professional level. Like, I'd be in my late 20s, and I'd be selling one every so often, and I'd be working a normal job.
It's definitely a passion. You can tell that even by the way that you're talking about it. Like, but I know that you've been selling beats and making you a bit of money, but we'll get back to that. Yeah, but I want to know where. Obviously, you're from Barna, Galway. Some people might say that that's the countryside. Where did this passion of hip hop come from? Do you think?
I enjoy answering this question. It started off, I'd say, I was a little shit when I was younger, and I liked doing things I wasn't allowed to do, and one of the things I wasn't allowed to do was listen to hip-hop. My mother didn't like Eminem or anything like that. If he came on TV, she'd turn him off.
Wow.
And my brother had a copy of Chronic 2001, and
Classic.
He did something to me or whatever that pissed me off, so I went into his room to take something, and I saw that, and I was like, I saw the big weed leaf on the case, and I was like, this is definitely something I'm not supposed to listen to. So I took that, started listening to it, and was listening to all the swear words, and I didn't even understand how you smoked weed or anything like that. But I loved the beats, and I liked the way they sounded, obviously, and I always kind of wondered how they were made. Like, because, you know, you see, say, the likes of Oasis or something like that recording a song, you know exactly how it's made.
Yeah.
One guy plays the guitar, one guy plays the drums, blah, blah, blah. Whereas with hip-hop, I was like, I wasn't sure. And the whole sampling thing, I was like, oh, I know that sound from another song. How did they put that together in the studio and all this?
Yeah.
And it literally wasn't until I got into college that I actually understood it properly. Before that, I still really wasn't sure. I was using Audacity to make those mashups when I first started off.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is hardly what they do to make beats, like. And yeah, basically developed from there. I remember I was listening to Chronic 2001 in my room.
Were your parents religious or something?
My mother was. My father, nah, not really. Like, she was a bit religious. Like, she wasn't crazy religious, but she just kind of, the likes of Grand Theft Auto, Eminem, stuff like that.
Cultural Catholic.
Was detrimental to a child. Like, and I mean, I could see to some extent, but not really. Like, you know, if you want to stop your kid saying fuck,
that's a whole other conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then, what was the first song that you made, or the first song that you made that you could be proud of?
Well, the very first song that I ever put together was, you know, I'll Be Missing You by Puff Daddy. It was that instrumental slowed down with the acapella from Juicy, Biggie Smalls. That's still on YouTube somewhere on my really old account, and it really isn't that bad for something I made my first time. In fact, it's pretty good. Like,
how old were you that time?
16, I think.
Okay.
About that. And then the first beat that I made, like, myself, I think the name, it was a really obscure name. It was like Arab entrepreneurship or something like that, because it had that kind of, you know that song Arab Money by Busta Rhymes?
Yeah.
It's had that kind of vibe to it, and I was kind of thinking of like entrepreneurship, so I just kind of put that name in it. And I mean, it's a decent beat, but in comparison to what I made now, like, it's nothing. But I still think for the very first beat I made, like, yeah, I mean, fair play to myself for doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, like.
I mean, what makes me laugh is, like, I'll go on YouTube sometimes and I'll be like, whatever, type beat. You know all them videos that say type beat, and then you look and it says DJ Green. And you're like, okay, then, that's you.
That thing actually is very handy, because before that, I'd always just have the name of the beat, like, say, Firestarter and then DJ Green. And it would get views, but it wouldn't get that many. And now, because there's just so much stuff being uploaded the whole time, people aren't just going to look at everything that's there. They're going to be looking for something specific. So I was reluctant to do it, but originally, when I started putting in Dr. Dre type beat or Earl Sweatshirt type beat or something like that, it did get an instant amount of views straight away. And I'd have people on to me the whole time saying, like, oh, like, you know, can you make me something like this, or can I buy this beat? Whereas before that, it very rarely happened. Like, they'd kind of, I don't know, they just listened to it maybe, and they wouldn't really pay attention to it. But once you're kind of going for more of a specific vibe, there's people out there like, oh, I see myself as an Eminem type rapper. I'm looking for Eminem type beats. So they're going to go into it before, because obviously I was getting 50, 100 views. You're going to look at the guys who are getting 1,000 views, 10,000 views, not the guy who's getting 50, unless, you know, you see something specific in the name that
There's
attracts
nothing
your eye.
wrong with that, bro. That's just how you got to promote the thing. Like, just do it.
A lot of people talk shit about it, though, because I remember it was only recently there's an Irish hip hop page, and I posted a couple of beats that said, like, you know, Method Man type beat, blah blah blah. They're like, oh, sure, that's just stupid. Like, that's just shit type beat and all this stuff. And I'm like, we're all here to try and make our way. Like, you know, I'd understand if it was generically crap stuff, like, but I know it's not generic what I'm making, and I know it's not crap either. So I didn't really see why these guys were complaining. They're in their late 30s, like, you know,
it's just
get a life. Like,
it's just a thing that's in the industry now. That's just how you put out beats.
Yeah, because it's a very hard industry to get into. Like, as I said, it took me 6 years to even sell one thing.
Yeah.
So you have to put a lot of work in. So, I mean, I don't like to follow all the trends, but that particular one, I was like, you know, I'll follow that one.
No, I love your stuff. I like the little videos that you put to them as well. It's like San Andreas.
Yeah, no, because it definitely gives it more. If someone's not necessarily a rapper, or they're not necessarily looking at it for beats, they're just looking for the music, whatever. Like, a couple of my mates of mine wouldn't really be into hip hop, but they'll watch it because I made it, and if there's a video, you know, something like that, it suits it. So, like, I'd be more inclined to listen to a beat or listen to someone's track if there's a video. So I think it does fit better. All I need to do is record myself playing San Andreas for 5 minutes and then just mix it up, you know, make it really trippy on Sony Vegas for 5 minutes, and I've got myself a video, like, so.
Yeah, brilliant. Next question. You got any questions, Kimball?
Yeah, you know when you say, like, you describe your beats as like a Dr. Dre type beat or a RZA type beat or whatever, from making beats yourself, like, is there a different style that each producer kind of has in terms of how he mixes his music, or particular riffs he samples or whatever?
In terms of mixing, I mean, I wouldn't really be sure. I haven't been there to actually see any of these guys produce or mix their stuff, but, like,
of course,
definitely for the sound and vibe, you can see straight away it's like, it's definitely based on the music that their parents listened to, I'd say. Like, you know, the start straight out of Compton when Dr. Dre's sitting back listening to the records, like, and it's the sample from Let Me Ride. Oh, no, it's not the sample, it's the sample from
I know that
Smoking Weed for Hours. It's a tune. It was never released.
It's also used in the 50 Cent song Fake Friends, I think.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And he's sitting back, and I feel like that's kind of the West Coast style kind of African-American parents' music that he would have listened to and then implemented into his beats. And with the same with the RZA and the likes of DJ Paul or any of them, like, you can definitely get the vibe that they were all their parents, because, you know, like, South, West, East Coast, all is different. You can probably get the vibe that their parents all listened to, like, Southern funk or Eastern blues or West Coast jazz, that sort of style. So that's definitely where it comes from, and because of that, it gives it its particular sound, where, like, you know, you kind of get, like, say, the plucky guitars for the West Coast and the whistle, and then, like, Southern, you kind of get that bluesy kind of style, and it's a bit quicker. And then obviously when you come to trap, then that's a whole different story. And East Coast, then it's kind of got that, like, in your face
or whatever.
Yeah, boom bap in your face kind of style. And I do feel like a lot of the music that, like, it's sampling does have that style as well. So it definitely influences it. In terms of mixing and all that stuff, like, I wouldn't say I've, like, followed any other particular producer as to the way they do it. I think everyone just has their own way of doing it. Like, I'd say the way I sample things and produce things and mix things is probably alien to some producers. Like, if they saw me, they wouldn't know what I'm doing. Like, because there is just, you know, it's all kind of learned yourself. There's obviously lessons and rules and stuff like
isn't
that.
Isn't it really interesting the way that like you're saying, it's the music that their parents would have listened to and how, but what they come up with is so different, but at the same time so the same.
It's a homage as well.
So if you look at like jungle into garage into grime into like that Afro swing stuff that they're playing now, they're all very different, but they all come from the same place.
For sure, yeah.
Like the next steps of the thing.
It allows younger people to appreciate it if they don't have the kind of ears to listen to that sort of music.
Yeah.
Like for me, if it wasn't for producing, like a lot of the music I've sampled is music that my parents would have listened to when I was younger.
Yeah.
And it would have been stuff that I'd be like, turn that off, just because they like, you know. If your dad's dancing next to you in the car to a song when you're 7, you're like, oh, stop. Like, but now I look back, it's like, I love that song now.
You wouldn't be seen dead listening to it now, but it did have its effect.
Oh no, I'd listen to lots of that music shamelessly now, but as a kid I would have been embarrassed. Like, but it's not, if it wasn't for sampling, I probably wouldn't appreciate it as much, because I kind of, you know, I was like, I can't just sample rap songs, I have to sample loads of different other stuff, and it's definitely given me an appreciation where I can sit back and listen to feckin' Arctic, you know, jazz, like literally music that's been made by Eskimos and stuff like this.
Crazy.
It's crazy
that
stuff, like
crazy.
Bosnian folk music and all this stuff.
Bosnian folk music, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds cool for the sample, but then when you listen to it afterward, like, it's like, that actually is a good song.
You have to respect it in a different way for what
definitely,
it is.
like.
I think it's time for the first song.
Sound.
So how things? No? Things are happening for you now?
A few things, yeah.
Yeah?
Forgot to get the CD last one. That was one you called us about. That was one
Oh, the CD, you finally made it.
We done that last year. We done another one now this year, but we didn't get as much made up. We didn't get the 1,000 made up, you know.
Right, and you still got some left of this.
Only about 4 or something. We give them out for free though, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Because that's what Lunatic wanted, you know.
Alright, people, we are back in the building. That song was Lunatic and Costello, Lord of the Saints and Scholars, produced by G.I. Why did you choose that song, Connor?
Well, I knew that I had to choose an Irish hip-hop song, and I think that the likes of Irish hip-hop in this country doesn't get enough exposure at all, and I think like tunes like that are some of the best hip-hop songs I've ever listened to, but because it's rapped in a Dublin Irish accent, people dismiss it straight away.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not that song in particular. There's another song called A Page of History Costello has done, where he literally tells the history of Ireland in the space of 4 minutes, and the song is unbelievable. And I mean, I've played these songs in front of people and they dismiss it straight away as like, you know, brain dead sort of stuff because they're Irish, and yet they'll put on a song then by, you know, some guy in America who's talking about shooting people in the face, and as if that's intelligent. Like, not to diss that sort of music, but, you know, I find it ridiculous. But that particular song, the first verse is done by Lunatic. He passed away, I think, roughly about 10 years ago, and he pretty much started the Irish hip-hop movement in the last 10 years. If it wasn't for the likes of him and the crew that he began, which was Costello, For Real, and G.I., who's the producer, and that's somebody who also raps. I
like G.I., yeah.
I don't think we'd have the hip-hop we have today if it wasn't for them, but especially Lunatic himself.
The story that I have like that is, I think it was G.I., or it could have been Mango, or one of them Dublin rappers, and I'd shared the video on Facebook because I liked it.
Yeah.
And then I showed it to my roommate, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, they're vibing to the song and that, and I look back at him, and he's just got this confused face, and I'm like, is there a problem? He says, is he speaking French?
Jesus. It's a I don't know, I think people do it on purpose. Like, it's like they're afraid to like it, you know, just because it's Irish. Like, I mean, yeah, no, it makes no sense. Like, I've had songs where the intro's been coming on, you don't hear any Irish accent, they're like, oh, this sounds good, and then as soon as the guy comes on, it's like, oh, they like, turn it off, man. I don't want to hear that. It's like, why? Like, you know, because he's Irish, man. You sound stupid.
It's like, almost like a self-hate thing, isn't
but
it?
it is, though. That's just Irish people in general, man.
I wonder what the sociological...
They hate to see people do well. Like, I mean, look at me, for example. I'm an Irish, white, hip-hop producer. Like, a lot of people are like, you're 21. Why are you trying to do that with your life? And I'm just like, well, the difference is you've been working in Duns for 5 years, and I haven't, and yet I'm doing better than you. Like, so why? Exactly. What's the problem? Like, I mean, I don't look at it in a gloating fashion, or I'm haha, I'm a hip hop producer. Look at me, I'm great. But if someone comes at me with something like that, it's like, just be happy, like, for your fellow man, like,
Why limit yourself?
Exactly, like, it takes a lot of balls to get up and say, I'm going to do something that's not, working in Duns, or
definitely
a degree where you're going to be safe. You're definitely going to get a job, and like, I'm not guaranteed a job whatsoever when I finish college. Like, so so
take risks and prosper.
Exactly, like, life's all about taking risks as long as they're not completely retarded, like.
No, I really like what you said there. I mean, like, why would we sit and listen to an American guy who we cannot relate to in any way at all, who lives in what is essentially a different universe?
Yeah.
Talking his nonsense, screaming his pain in our ear, but the guy from down the road who we might actually relate to, we're not interested.
Makes no sense.
Maybe subconsciously we don't want to relate to him, if you know what I mean, because it's too close to home, like,
Exactly. Those people would look down on, like, say, a fella wearing a tracksuit, down the road, but then they think that the guys over in LA are cool, like, which makes absolutely no sense, like, in fairness, because the guys in LA have probably committed worse crimes than the lads down the road, like, so it makes no sense. But as I said, Irish people hate each other, and all the different class groups in general hate each other. It's just the way it is. I wouldn't say I'm part of that category. I'll be friends with anyone, but in general, so hip-hop will definitely have that sort of, I'd say, vibe to it. The likes of Versatile, everyone can relate to them because, they represent the college crew, they represent Trinity College, all that sort of vibe, so they like them. But the likes of Costello, Jambo, Lethal Dialect, well, known as Paul All right now, represent a completely different thing to them, and that's something they kind of dislike. Even if the rap is totally, intelligent stuff, it's storytelling, it's not even about being a gangster, it's still like, ugh, don't want to listen to it. I hate it, to be honest. It's annoying, like.
I think, sorry for cutting across you there.
Go ahead, bro.
I think people are quicker to accept Versatile is because Versatile don't want to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Not saying anything against them now, but if you listen to their songs,
that's definitely the truth.
it's a comedic kind of value to it.
And drugs as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
College students love drugs, and that's.
Well, it's the comedy of drugs. It's not. It's like when they're saying, "We sell brown."
Oh, I know. Yeah.
When they're saying we sell heroin, it's a joke thing.
Obviously,
it's not, They're clearly not. It's not no gangster thing when they're saying we sell heroin.
It's like a parody of actual rap music, like,
But I find that really interesting. I mean, I don't know how you feel about the way in which it's just a joke. But what you just played me there is very serious.
Yeah.
And do you resent them? Well, not resent, but do you get what I'm saying?
It's frustrating to see that they're the face of everything. Like, they're the face of Irish hip hop, and what I go back to is that, like, their sort of fan base, like their main fan base, people who love them, like, you'd encounter those sort of people, and they're the kind of people you can't talk about something depressing around them on a night out, or they'll get pissed off. They're like, why are you talking about that, man?
Yeah.
So it's the same with the music. Like, if you're like, oh, I'm upset, my girlfriend broke up with me, like, oh, why are you talking about that, man? We're supposed to be having fun. Like, it's like, if you have to tell yourself that, like, there's something wrong with you, where it's like, oh, if he talks about something sad, no, I'm going to think about something sad, and then I'm going to have a bad night. Makes no real sense to me. Like, so it's the same with the music. It's like, they want to be having good vibes, fun. That song makes me think, and I don't want to think. And the fact that there's people out there that are afraid to think, it just, kind of cringy, like.
And then you have one level down from that is kind of kneecap, where there is a novelty to the fact that they are rapping in Irish.
Yeah. Oh, fact.
And giving out about yokes and all of this. But at the same time, it's almost like a political statement that they're rapping in Irish, bro. But don't take that for, like, that's a serious thing.
Yeah. They get in more trouble for saying all this stuff in Irish than Versatile do for saying this stuff in English, do you know?
Yeah.
They're saying, like, 0.05, like, much minor stuff, but because they're saying it in Irish, they're boycotted from RTE Radio, and I'm not even sure if TG Cars, it gives them any publicity. Like,
They said that they wouldn't. Like, I think as well, it's the same with them. People would be less likely to listen to them because they're rapping in Irish, because Irish people hate speaking Irish in general, like, especially young people around our generation. So they dismiss that straight away because it's in Irish, like.
Oh yeah, just a little plug, right? Next month, you're gonna see us with Kneecap in something, and that's all I'm gonna say.
It's gonna be fucking savage.
We were out in Connemara the other day in all three of us actually.
Yeah.
All three of us were out there fishing, picking up packages.
Yeah.
I won't say no more.
Making it.
See a guy in a yellow coat. That's me. You get me?
I'm the guy spitting in the background.
I'm the guy with the baseball cap.
Yeah. Who else? But I feel like these guys, GI and them. I don't know what the name of their whole collective is.
It used to be called Street Literature. I'm not sure if it's still called
Street Literature. They are like, that is gritty and dark and truthful, and perhaps that's not the way to go, because that's never going to be commercial. Even when American guys do the same thing, it's not as commercial.
If it's too dark, yeah. I definitely acknowledge that, but like I know it's the same with every music genre. It's going to be that way. The kind of party fun stuff is going to be first, like, and then everything comes behind it. But I wish that people kind of listen to a gritty song that tells a dark story.
Yeah.
But that's true, that and be like, I enjoy that. Like, whereas a lot of people, they don't enjoy that music. Like, music has to uplift them. Like,
there's definitely a need for it, without any doubt. And then you have Irish rap movement. And I was looking at it the other day. Do you know what the first video ever uploaded to that channel was?
What?
It was Pat Flynn, Get On Your Knees. And it was uploaded on the exact same day that the channel was created.
Yeah.
There's a little conspiracy there. I don't want to make no enemies, you get me? But
This on the Versatile channel?
no, on IRM, Irish Rap Movement.
Oh, right.
I love Pat Flynn though. I think Pat Flynn was a G. I really liked what he did.
Yeah.
But when it came to people doing MCs on Facebook, I wasn't down with that. That wasn't my thing.
I think if an MC is done properly, it can be unbelievable.
Yeah.
But if you're 16 years old with a poof haircut in an alleyway talking about cocaine and how you kick the living shit out of everyone around you, I think you should shut the fuck up, as far as I'm concerned.
I think, though, the MC, I said this before, I think maybe 2 shows ago, like, it may not be that good compared to people in England or America.
Yeah.
But it is like native to our culture, like, you know, to Irish and Irish English culture, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, to an extent, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are MCs out there that can MC, like, they can spit lines and it's class, whereas, but, you know,
that's almost a grime thing.
It's recited, a lot of the MCs in Ireland, like, you know, the stuff they say, like, you know, it's generic sort of stuff. Like, I mean, if you can MC about being a farmer, and it can be class if you do it properly. I know a fellow who did a rap about turf. He uploaded it to Irish Hip Hop, man, and nearly everyone there, including the biggest rappers in Ireland, were like, "That's class, man." Even though it was a fucking rap about turf.
Yeah,
he was taking the piss, but it was good, like.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be. I'm really masculine and hard, because if you're not, you just look stupid, like.
Well, that's where the line is drawn between content and skill.
Yeah, fact.
Like, do you ever watch them grime sets like Risky Roads or Radar Radio? And there's guys that they can go for hours and keep the beat going and just like properly ride the beat, like real mic controller, real MC, mic conductor, all of that. But they might be talking absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
But they can keep it going. I think that's what MCing is. MCing is closer to grime than it is to hip hop.
Yeah, I definitely see that, yeah.
Actually, it's time for another song. Yes, I'm back in the building. WuTang. Hell's Wind stuff.
Savage tune.
When was the first time you heard that?
Not long ago, actually, to be honest. I heard it maybe 2 years ago. The thing that caught my ear straight away was the tambourine. Like, it's such a simple thing, but that's the beauty of sampling. Like, you know, you could have a song with 20 samples and it could be one sound that just sounds class, and that tambourine, just the way it comes in every time, it's just perfect. Like, it was so well produced. The RZA produced that, of course, but yeah, no, that's the particular part I love about that song. And when Ghostface Killah comes in on the second verse, I think it is, I think he rips it apart. Like,
yeah,
he's probably the best WuTang member. Like,
and while that song was playing, we just noticed that Mr. McMorrow has a big WuTang tattoo on his arm, and he was flexing for the camera.
Big aims.
So you love Wu-Tang enough to get it tattooed on you, yeah?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, once you get 5 or 6 tattoos, you'd get Anthem tattooed on you. But, like, I do love Wu-Tang, and I plan on kind of getting more parts added to it. But, yeah, I just kind of decided, yeah, why not get that somewhere? And, yeah, one of the lads, tattoo artist there, AWOL in Galway, just designed it for me. I said I wanted something green, something kind of gem orientated. That's why it's kind of got the gem kind of design within the W. Because if you look at Wu-Tang tattoos on Google Images, just like it's got the W and the amount of crazy designs people have done. Like, so it's actually just like, even if you didn't like Wu-Tang itself, the tattoos themselves were unbelievably cool. So I wanted one that like was completely different. Like, and I don't think I've ever seen one that looks like the one I'd have. Like,
I never seen one like that before. So you haven't got a big love story to tell us about Wu-Tang now?
Well, I mean, they would be my favorite hip hop group for sure. Like the first 2 albums they have and the solo albums all together as a collective, there's just amazing stuff. Like some of the best albums I've ever heard. Like in terms of a group, besides them, like say NWA or the Ghetto Boys, like I listen to a lot of them. But overall, in terms of music, they have like, you know, an album or 2 or a couple of solo albums, whereas Wu-Tang has 8 members, or almost, I think it's 10. It was 10 members with, you know, several solo albums together, and then you got the group's albums or whatever, and there's just so much stuff there that's savage quality. There's nothing there that would be considered bad, like,
yeah,
especially all their first albums that came out after they released 36 Chambers, like Paraic, Ghostface Killah, Old Dirty Bastard, Method Man. Like, it's some of the best hip hop that's ever been in. Like, in my opinion, Liquid Swords is probably my favorite hip hop album
that's
ever.
what people always say. They always say that's the classic.
It's just so obscure. Like, at the time, like the RZA's production at the time was supreme. Like, he was the best in the world at that particular time. I think he's kind of gone off that now since the kind of vibe he was on, because he's produced so much different things since then. Like,
a lot of them make movies now.
Yeah,
children's movies.
It'd be like the same as Dr. Dre. Like, he makes similar music, but you know, he wouldn't still be making G-Funk just because it's not with the times anymore. And I'm assuming even if your music's great, you're going to get sick of producing the same sort of stuff over and over. So there's only so much of that kind of particular sound you can go for, which was the RZA sound at the time. But that album in particular would be the sort of stuff that any producer would listen to, just be like, wow, that's class.
Liam, you're always on about Wu-Tang, man.
Yeah, I think what's fascinating about the Wu-Tang now is as a hip-hop group, almost all their solo artists had their own successful career in their own right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They didn't live in the Wu-Tang shadow either, like, you know.
No.
Like, say, for example, like NWA, like, okay, Ice Cube and Dr. Dre had major success. And, you know, Eazy, before he died, was pretty successful too, like, but DJ Yella, MC Ren, they just never really got out of the kind of the NWA kind of shadow, like, you know, they never really made their own fame, like, you know, but almost everyone from the Wu-Tang had their own brand, like, you know, had their own story to tell after they were done with the group, like, you know.
Every single one of them has their own style, genuinely, and every single one of them is a skilled rapper, like I think the likes of Inspector Deck or Capadonna or U-God would be underrated in comparison to Ghostface, Raekwon, Method Man, the RZA, the Jizza, because their stuff may have been a little more commercially successful, like their solo albums. So even until recently, I wouldn't have probably rated them as high, but then I actually listened to their solo albums recently and listened to the stuff they did with Wu-Tang, and I realised they're all class. Like, none of them are bad at all. Like, Old Dirty Bastard might be kind of at the bottom, but he still had a style that was completely unmatchable, like, you know, regardless if he was off his head and crack half the time, he still had a style that was funky as hell, so he could do a very simplistic rap but make you vibe to it because he was funky, like, which is a talent in itself. Like, there's
no doubt that the Wu-Tang's cultural impact is just crazy.
They were the first to
still now
that ever had, like, there was no group out there that had fans that had tattoos of Wu-Tang, of their group, like their logo or whatever. Wu-Tang was the first to ever do that, like, to have their own clothing lines and all this crazy stuff. Like, they were they were a corporation more than anything that they grew into. Like, you know, there was the clothes, there's about 150 affiliates to Wu-Tang in hip hop altogether overall. Like,
that's crazy.
It's unbelievable. Like, so
some serious amount of money was made there.
I'd say so. Yeah, I don't think they're not as rich as the likes of Dr. Dre or Master P. But they did a lot of entrepreneuring, like, you know, with Dre, with the beats, and Master P. Like, I'm not really sure how he made a lot of his money, because the stuff they were releasing wasn't commercial style stuff. It was very gangster.
But it had a cult following.
Yeah, it was a cult, but and that cult following really paid off. Like, they
I think
so many.
Master P, didn't he get shares in the NBA recently or something like that?
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I haven't really been keeping up to date with him over the last few years.
Is that not Kanye?
No, it wasn't Kanye. I seen a picture on Facebook the other day of him and some basketball team or something.
Yeah.
And I only read it, kind of half read it, like, you know, but he'd put some money into them anyways and made a profit, like, you know. And that's how he's making his money at the moment.
I could be wrong, but I think he did play in NBA for a year or two.
Yeah, briefly he did play. I think
was it pro, was it?
Was pro, yeah.
Yeah. Fair play to him, like.
Fair play is right. You could even say that, you know, like So Solid.
Yeah.
You could even say that they were influenced by WuTang because there was just loads of them as well, and it was deep, and they tried to do the same thing. But So Solid aren't really.
I said this before now, and you may not like my opinion, but I think the way Versatile do their videos, they actually do remind me of the old WuTang, the old video from Method Man. You know, the one we said, Brown.
I can see that, yeah.
Just how they flow together, like,
they definitely were the kind of first to kind of start that sort of thing, like
the whole personality,
cult
of personality culture, like, you know.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
Definitely. We'll stick another song on, but we haven't got much time left. So 1 second.
What no baby? You look good now, baby. Long time I watch you, I want chat to you, I go like you don't want chat.
That's one of my favourite songs.
So what me dream? Like tell me what the fuck I go on now.
Creeping. And we're back in the place again. That was Dr. Dre, Let Me Ride. Earlier I said we'll get back to Connor's career because I don't want you to think he's just like it's a weird fella that does beats. Like he's actually making money and he's been selling beats to America recently. Tell us about that.
Well, I've sold 3 beats to American fellas. One guy from Toronto. Well, no, Toronto. That's Canada. 1 Canadian and 2 American guys.
It's all the same. It's America.
Don't let him hear you say that if it's America.
Another fella in Boston, and actually no, 2 guys from Boston. One of them was recently in Galway. Actually, it was pretty funny. But the majority of what I've sold is to people in Ireland. But it was just literally I sold the first beat to a guy in Dublin called Ryan McCann. His rap name is Ellis Nair, and just it kicked off from there. And since then, I've sold beats to a fella in Wales, England, South Africa, America.
And how do you meet these people?
Well, it's all through the internet, of course.
Yeah.
Just, you know, they'll contact me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever that I'm on.
Yeah.
And usually it's a case of, hey, man, I really like your beats. Will you make something similar to this or similar to that? Or, you know, I'll buy that particular one you've uploaded.
So do you have to put a lot of work into promoting your stuff to have reached this level?
Yeah, to an extent. Like, I mean, it depends, really. I mean, a lot of guys I know who are doing what I do, they pay for their promotion. Like, they pay for ads and they pay for likes and they pay for comments and they pay for subscribers. And I just don't like doing that because I'd rather have 5 likes from people who genuinely listen to my stuff and are interested in the music rather than 100 people from Thailand that are getting paid to like my stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather 100 views that are genuine views that I earned rather than 10,000 views that are, you know, for nothing.
No, 100%.
So I've used Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reverb Nation, YouTube, loads of different things to promote. Facebook and YouTube tend to be the best.
Do you want to plug your social medias?
Where
can people find your stuff?
You can find me on Facebook at Greenbeats. That's www.facebook.com/greenbeats12/. And then YouTube, you can just look me up as Connor McMurrow. CONORMCMOROUGH. A lot of people spell it wrong.
I have to spell my name out every time as well.
And SoundCloud as well, just look up Connor McMurrow and you'll find me. Everything else, I mean, Reverb Nation didn't really work out very well. A lot of them you have to pay. Like, they say you don't have to pay and you'll get like 5 plays and then it'll be like, all right, buy this, buy that, subscribe.
It's a business,
subscribe
bro.
to that.
That's all it is.
Yeah, so I've tried to do it in a way where I'm not spending lots of money on anything bar buying equipment to improve my craft or whatever. I don't really like paying for ads and paying for this and, you know, to kind of force people to listen to my stuff. So that's probably I've suffered probably in a way in terms of.
Let me tell the audience, if you're a rapper aspiring to do something with yourself, you need to get on it. You need to go and look for that. Or if you just like beats in general, and you know what, yeah, if you're good enough to spit on this man's beats, then come down here and spit for me. How about that? I'm done talking to the people now.
I've definitely got a lot of, I'd say, praise because lads would get on to me and they'd send me over a beat and like, I'd like you to make something like this, and I'd have something sent over to them in an hour, and then they'll send it back and say, can you change this, and I'll have it sent back within half an hour, and literally I'll have the tune mixed and mastered within 2 days of just constant work, because I hate waiting myself, you know. I hate when someone says, oh yeah, you know, it's annoying when a rapper who wants to be the next best thing gets onto you, and then you send something over, it takes them a week to respond to you, and it's like, you're the one who wants to be the next Eminem, man. I'm still making my money, so they need to be serious about what they're doing, because I'm serious about what I'm doing as well.
It needs to be a personal connection that you have. Like, don't underestimate the producer in the whole process.
A lot of people do that. Like, they're kind of like, you know, oh yeah, sure, I'll give you a shout out for spending several weeks making this beat. It's like, nah, man, I'm half of this song. Like, if it wasn't for me, you exactly. Because I mean, I'll be honest, majority of the people that come to me, they're good, but like, you know, I probably wouldn't even listen to them myself. You know? There's only the very odd one where I'm like, this guy's class. I really, really want to work with him. And they're the guys, you know, who wouldn't be so straight off to work with you. You know, you have to work to get to work with them, and that's fair enough. I acknowledge that. You build a
relationship.
Whereas there's guys out there who are useless and they treat you like, you know, yeah, here, make that beat for me, good lad, and I'll come back to you when you have it done, mixed, mastered, and I might tag you on Facebook. It's like, no, like, that's not how it goes, literally, and it pisses me off, to be honest, like, because if it wasn't for producers, we wouldn't have...
Take this man seriously.
Facts.
That's it. You got any last words, Kimball?
Any last words? You know, I think beat making in general is very overlooked in the hip-hop industry, you know? Everyone wants to be the rapper, everyone wants to be the next Eminem, as he says, you know, and I think, like, to really appreciate a good hip-hop song, it needs a proper beat, like, you know, it needs 100%. Every little thing needs to be
the
right.
The beat is
like,
what lures you in the first place, like.
Exactly.
But do you ever watch the Defiant ones?
Yeah, I've watched that. It's unbelievable.
Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
It wasn't always, it used to be the DJ that everybody wanted to be.
Yeah. But
now everybody's fame hungry, innit?
That's the dream, though. Like,
that's the
dream. What Dre has done, like, you know, if he started basically almost all of the biggest hip-hop acts ever. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Eazy-E, NWA, Ice Cube, and all the artists they found as well. So, you know, he is a genius in himself, like.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not just a DJ. Nobody's tagging him on Facebook just for making them do something.
He gets that emotional side out of his artists, and that's something that I want to do as well, where if someone's trying to write a sad song, I'm like, write about something that genuinely makes you sad, something that's actually happened to you, something that pisses you off while you write the song, not something that's just like, you know, oh, how can I write a sad song? You have to be feeling what you're writing.
100%.
I mean, if it wasn't
authentic,
if it wasn't for Dre, we probably wouldn't have gotten the Slim Shady, angsty Eminem music that we got, you know, to the extent that we got it. Like, if you know, the RZA or Premier had gotten him or something like that, not to downplay their craft, but would they have been able to pull that out of Eminem to get him to be the artist he was? I don't know.
That's a big question.
So that's something I definitely see where, you know, you should connect with someone on that level where it's like, you know, what actually upsets you. Oh, say, for example, my parents walked out on me as a kid. All right, well, write down 5 things that annoy you about that particular thing.
So in the future, are you looking to link up with somebody like that, or what's your plans?
I would definitely like to find someone like that where the pair of us are, you know, like 2 peas in a pod pretty much, like, and we can literally like bounce off each other and make something.
You can bring them in here.
I will do that, yeah.
You better do. Build a team, bro. That's what it's all about. We just need to build loads of teams and get this scene running.
I've made a whole lot of contacts in the last 2 or 3 years, and I have people picked out from here and there where it's like, I definitely would have this fella part of the label if we actually, you know, became a label.
Can you say any names?
Well, there's one guy who's been mastering tunes for me at the moment, mixing and mastering tunes for me. That's Alton McDyer.
Big up.
He produces kind of dancey house stuff. It's not really my thing personally, but it's not bad. Not to say it's bad music. I can see it's got very good production, but I've watched him do what he does. Like, and for sure, I'd have him involved. There's a couple of rappers from Limerick. William Casey is one of them that I'm doing a song with at the moment.
Oh yeah, talk to us about Limerick as well.
Well, Limerick's hip hop scene is miles better than Galway for sure. Like, I mean, there's the guys there. They're more talented. There's a lot of
it's more established.
Yeah, and there's kind of a brotherhood there. Everyone kind of gets along. They all work together. They all help each other out, and they're not on a high horse like the guys in Limerick that are, you know, would be deemed successful, like, or, you know, getting gigs the whole time. If you send them a message and be like, oh, if you want to collab, you know, I'll collab. Yeah. They're going to respond to you and say, oh, for sure. Like, and 9 times out of 10 they will work with you. Cause
I always get surprised when you message somebody on Instagram and you get a reply. Like, you weren't expecting a reply. Like, who was, do you know Read the Future?
Yeah.
Yeah, I texted him the other day talking about this and that. I won't go into that. But, yeah, man, and they're just nice people. That's the thing about our scene. These people aren't so big or so big-headed that they won't talk to you. Like, they're normal people too. And that's something that we shouldn't take for granted.
Social media is a gift in that sense, for sure. Like, you know,
but you couldn't text Kendrick Lamar.
I've talked to RA the Rugged Man on Twitter before, because one of the lads said to me that if I became a rapper, at best I'd become RA the Rugged Man at that level, and I thought that was retarded, because he's a class rapper. And I told him that. I said it to him on his Twitter, and he was like, well, you tell that guy to get his 10 best rappers and put them against me, and I'll battle rap and destroy them all. Like, and I was like, fair enough. I took it as a compliment that he said I'd end up like RA the Rugged Man. I'm like, I don't care, you know, that he's a highly respected guy.
So, last things now, what have you got coming up? Or
I'm producing roughly 7 songs at the moment for guys in all 4 corners of the country. I've got a song going with Kneecaps that we recently did the video with. They're looking for, actually, well, no, I won't reveal anything what they're looking for. I was going to say what sort of beat they want, but no.
Low key.
I'll keep that low key just in case. But there's also tunes going with Joan and Decay, William Casey in Limerick, the Brothers in Arms, they're a new enough group in Limerick as well, putting together a song with them. There's also a song that will be released very soon. I shared a video of it on Facebook, your man doing it live, Nathan Kelleher.
Oh, I saw that this morning.
Bye, very Tupac sort of vibe, the tune.
Yeah.
He's known as Little Nath.
He's talented, man.
Yeah, he is good. That's going to be mixed and mastered pretty soon and released. And that'll be up on my channel and his channel, assuming, as well. And he's going to be releasing an album pretty soon as well. So, I mean, I may have a couple more tunes released on that. And then as well, there's Ella Snare up in Dublin that I've produced, I'd say 15, close to almost 20 tracks for him now. And he's got an album coming out soon. So I'm not sure if it'll be solely produced by me, but there'll be a good portion of it will be produced by me. So I'm excited to see that, because he's definitely got some savage beats off me. Because a lot of the stuff I've sold you haven't heard yet. A lot of the stuff that is on YouTube kind of stays up there. But people are generally saying, like, I like these beats, but I kind of like you to make something kind of specifically for me. And obviously, I'm not going to release it after I've sold it, and the rights are theirs. Like, I've done out contracts with these people, and anyways, so I can't release it until they release it. So there's a lot coming, anyways.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, same as myself.
I believe in you, bro.
I appreciate it. I believe in me too.
Yeah, it's good to have all these little connections early, mate. You know, connecting all with the people who are going to be big early is. Yeah, man, I'm serious. I look forward to it. Like, and there's a need for people like you in the scene right now. Yeah, without a doubt,
for sure.
Have you got a message for the fans? And then we're gonna play the last song, and then we're gone. Look for the scene. Come on, like, make a grand statement. I'll put some tense music on there.
Look up Green Beats on Facebook and listen to my stuff. If you're a rapper in Ireland and you want someone that'll work for you. But obviously, you know, you have to treat me right as well. Like, you know, I won't be thrown around. But if you want someone that'll work hard and give you a savage beat and I'll take constructive criticism, and I'll put together exactly what you like, what you want, to the best of my ability, pretty much.
All right,
then
bro.
Hit me up.
It was blessed having you here, bro.
Someone.
Yeah, cheers for coming on the show, man.
No bother.
And the last song is Master P, Bourbons and Lax, here on the 191 show.